I paid off her debt, built her a future, then found out she was just waiting for someone better. I thought I was helping her heal, building her life back. Turns out I was just the bridge she used to cross the river. Hey everyone! We're just beginning this journey, so please consider helping us reach our first 1,000 subscribers. Thank you! Now, let's get back to the story. My name is Marcus. I'm 35, run a mid-sized software consultancy, and until recently, I believed in the idea of unconditional love. I believe that when you lift someone up, when you stand by them during their worst, they'll never forget it. I met Camille 2 years ago at a local charity fundraiser. She was charming, kind, and just a little broken in the way that makes you want to wrap someone in protection. She worked as a graphic designer, part-time, and had just gotten out of a bad relationship that left her in emotional and financial ruin. She didn't hide her baggage. She told me about the debt, credit cards, student loans, even a couple payday advances. She told me about how her ex wrecked her credit and left her with nothing. I remember saying, without hesitation, "We'll fix it, together." And we did. Or rather, I did. I started by helping her refinance her loans. Then I paid off her worst debts, high-interest traps that would have buried her. I didn't see it as charity. I saw it as an investment. In her, in us. I even hired her freelance for one of my clients to boost her income. The relationship bloomed fast. She moved in after 6 months. She cried when I handed her the keys. She said I was the first man who made her feel safe. I believed her. We traveled, built routines. She started smiling more, laughing like someone who had been underwater and finally remembered how to breathe. I never asked for anything back. Not the money, not the credit repair, not the stability. I just wanted love, loyalty, the things I thought we were building together. Then one Tuesday morning, while she was in the shower, her MacBook pinged. The message was short, from someone named Tommy. He was a stepping stone. I'm ready now. I didn't breathe, just read it again and again. Then I opened the thread, and my world began to fall apart. I scrolled back through the thread. Hundreds of messages, flirty, intimate, familiar in a way that cut deeper than I expected. They'd been talking for over 6 months. Right around the time Camille moved in with me. She told him everything, about my business, about the money I spent to help her, about how I treated her like a princess. And he laughed. Called me her sugar stepstool. She responded with a string of laughing emojis. "He's a good guy," she wrote, "but not for me long term, just until I can breathe again." I felt sick. She told him she missed him, that she couldn't wait to be free. In one message, she wrote, "He keeps talking about a future, kids, buying a house. I can barely keep a straight face." That one hit like a punch. I closed the laptop and sat still for a long time. Listened to the water run upstairs. The woman I thought I was going to marry was singing softly in the shower. I didn't say anything that day. I needed time to think, to gather, to not explode. So I played along, smiled at breakfast, kissed her forehead, went to work. And that night, I called someone I hadn't spoken to in years, a friend from college who now ran a private security and tech recovery firm. "I need everything," I said. "Phone logs, cloud backups, social accounts, the works." He didn't ask questions. He just said, "You'll have it in 3 days." Those 3 days felt like years. I barely slept, barely ate. Every interaction with Camille felt like acting in a play I hadn't auditioned for. She was cheerful, clingy even, cooked dinner 2 nights in a row, sent me selfies while I worked, bossy, told me she was feeling so lucky lately. And I smiled, nodded, played the part. When the report finally came, it was worse than I imagined. She wasn't just messaging Tommy. She had a second phone, prepaid, registered under a fake name. Dozens of text threads, photos, voice notes, plans, secret meetups when I traveled for work, reservations I paid for that she used to meet up with him instead. One folder in the report was labeled Las Vegas, November, the same weekend she told me she was visiting her cousin for a bachelorette party. They stayed in the suite I booked with my rewards points. The photos. I couldn't look at all of them. Worse? She had a private folder on her cloud labeled Exit Plan. It contained spreadsheets, budgeting how long she could stay with me, how much she could save, and when would be a safe time to leave. Safe. I wasn't a partner. I was a temporary benefactor with benefits. The lies weren't spontaneous. They were structured. I sat at my desk with the files open on both monitors, and for the first time in my adult life, I felt small, humiliated, weaponized. I closed the laptop, walked to the bathroom, looked in the mirror. "Don't lose it," I whispered. "She's not worth it. But you are." I wasn't sure what the next step was yet, but I knew I wasn't going to let her walk away untouched. That Friday night, I asked her to dinner. She lit up like it was a date, did her makeup. She wore the same navy dress she wore the night I introduced her to my parents. I let her talk through appetizers, let her laugh through the entree, let her believe everything was normal. Then I said it just as dessert arrived. "I know everything." Her fork froze halfway to her mouth. She blinked. "What?" I didn't raise my voice. I just placed a single flash drive on the table. "Your Vegas weekend, the second phone, Tommy, the exit plan, the messages about how I'm just a stepping stone. I know all of it." Her face drained of color. "I didn't mean it like that," she started. "It's complicated." "No, it's not." She reached for my hand. I pulled it away. "I gave you everything, Camille. Time, support, thousands of dollars, stability, and you used all of it to prepare for someone else, someone who never lifted a finger for you. I didn't mean to hurt you, but you did, on purpose, repeatedly." I stood up, tossed enough cash on the table to cover both meals. "I want you out by Sunday. Don't make this messier than it needs to be." Her eyes brimmed, but I was done. Her tears were tools, and I wasn't a project. That night, I slept in the guest room. She knocked once. I didn't answer. The next morning, she was quiet. Didn't speak over breakfast. Didn't ask for forgiveness. Just packed in silence, and by Sunday night, she was gone. But the mess she left inside me? That would take longer to clean. It took 2 months for her to try again. She messaged me late one night. Just a simple, "Can we talk?" I didn't answer. The next day, she showed up at the cafe near my office. She looked different, thinner, maybe, or just worn out. She sat down across from me without asking. "It didn't work out with him," she said. I raised an eyebrow. "Not surprised." She looked away. "I made a mistake. I wasn't thinking straight. You were always there for me. I got scared. I ran." "You didn't run. You planned your exit in Excel." She winced. "Marcus, please. I miss us." I laughed, short and sharp. "You miss the comfort, the stability. You don't miss me. You miss what I gave you." "I know I messed up, but people change. No, people reveal. And you revealed exactly who you are." She was quiet. "Camille," I said, voice steady, "I hope you figure yourself out, but I'm not your fallback plan. I was your foundation, and you jackhammered it for thrills. You don't get to come back just because the roof caved in on the next guy." Her eyes watered, but I didn't flinch. I stood up, tossed a 5 on the table for my coffee. "I don't hate you," I said, "but I sure as hell don't respect you anymore." And I walked out for the first time, completely free. But even in freedom, I couldn't ignore what lingered underneath, the question I kept turning over in my head. How the hell did I not see it? How could someone deceive me that deeply, for that long, without even a flicker of guilt breaking through? The more I thought about it, the more I realized it wasn't just about her lies. It was about how easily I bought into them. I wasn't just her stepping stone. I was the one who let her step on me. Who paved the way? Who held the door open and offered everything without stopping to ask, "Does this woman love me or just need me?" That was the part that stung the most. Not the betrayal, the willing blindness. I used to pride myself on being emotionally intelligent, grounded, disciplined. But now I see how easily I mistook vulnerability for sincerity, how I equated need with affection. Camille didn't just lie to me. She studied me. She learned exactly how to present herself as the woman I wanted to rescue, and I fell for it, piece by piece. Now, I'm not angry anymore. Not really. Just clear. I know better. I trust less. And not in a bitter way, in a wiser one. I've been working on myself, therapy, reflection, journaling, and even traveling solo. I've started saying no more, especially to people who expect access to my loyalty before they've earned it. I'm not ready to date, not yet, maybe not for a long time, because I'm still rebuilding the part of me that let this happen. and I want to do it right, one brick at a time. With both eyes open, I didn't expect the closure to come from silence, but that's exactly what happened. Weeks turned into months. Camille disappeared completely from my life. No more texts, no more drop-ins. She became a ghost. And strangely, that helped. It gave me room to breathe, to think, to recalibrate. I started spending more time outdoors, hikes, long bike rides, and morning runs before the city woke up. Movement helped me push the poison out. Slowly, but surely, I stopped replaying every word, every sign I missed. I stopped blaming myself for being generous. Some friends told me I should get back out there, date again. But I wasn't in a rush to prove I'd moved on because I was moving on. Just not for anyone else's timeline, but my own. In that quiet space, I started building again. Not for a partner, but for me. I restructured my business, took a sabbatical to work on a side project I'd shelved for years, reconnected with people I trusted, learned how to cook better, read more, wrote a lot. And in all that, I found something I hadn't had in years: peace. Real, earned internal peace. The kind that doesn't come from escape, but from understanding. Camille was a detour, painful, sharp, and unforgettable. But also she was a mirror, one that showed me where I was still unfinished. And now I look forward, not to find someone better, but to be someone better, for me.